Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the established multidisciplinary artist known as Future Self, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at this surreal scene here. We're also going to explore influences from science fiction, but more specifically, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So let's jump right into it. One of the first things you notice when you look at this work is this crystalline cube set in center. Your first impression is likely one of, shock or awe as we wonder what exactly we're witnessing here. Quite a mystical scene, there is no doubt about that. We see how our subject's placement in center certainly draws the eye, and aside from that, we see this effect further reinforced by a lucid light on dark accent, a pretty dark scene, allowing that to pop out to the highest degree possible. And one of the first things that I noticed personally was the impact and contrast of texture here. We see this quite clearly, right? The sleek and smooth nature of this prism stands in direct contrast to the kind of mechanistic appearance of its surroundings, all of which immerses so well within the scene at hand. The digital render does that so well, right? And we can't help but point to this vivid light within the composition. Of course, it's concentrated within the very center here. This invigorates the scene with a sense of energy, albeit concentrated within the center, and draws our eye in so well. There is no doubt about that. With this in mind, how do y'all feel when you view this piece? We see the, crystalline nature of our prism. It certainly draws the eye there. Glass and crystalline forms always draw the eye due to their nature of catalyzing light. So, like we said, this visual energy is caused by that, and it's further reinforced by the intensity and catalyst provided by this crystalline form here. And so our setting is quite interesting to consider. It almost appears as if we're on a spaceship of some kind or another, but furthermore, we see kind of an industrial or cyberpunk aesthetic is incredibly advanced. There is no doubt about that. And it immerses us within that. Like I said, it stands in direct contrast to the purity of our crystalline or prismatic form set in center here. And in most of his sci-fi works, the original artist Future Self actually notes influence from 2001: A Space Odyssey. We could see this quite clearly as it even reads reminiscent of a monolith, and regardless of that, this work stands well ahead of its time. There is no doubt about that. And guarding our prismatic subject is what appears to be, a ring of light of some kind or another. This is almost reminiscent of a halo, and even reminiscent of the light of life itself. So with that in mind, what do you see when you view this piece? In creating this work, the original artist was talking about, the miracle of life and its preservation, and we kind of see this quite clearly, right? You see the energy of life, the purity of life set in center, in direct contrast to its relentless industrial surrounding there. With this in mind, how has life preserved so well? But regardless of that fact, we can't help but marvel at the profound perseverance of life within the piece before us. So this is a stunning piece. There is no doubt about it. I briefly mentioned it, but this is a digital render, so it was created with a digital rendering program. And that program is going to be Cinema 4D, incredibly professional. A lot of pros are using Cinema 4D for their renders. And of course, the nature of the digital render is incredibly realistic, so it immerses us so well within the scene. We absolutely love to see it. Really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about so many different things: the impact of light and energy, the contrast of texture here, this industrial mechanistic setting. It's hard to say for sure, but regardless of that, this is a stunning piece. There is no doubt about that. So really hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist Future Self doing some 3D renderings as well as music. So many different opportunities to discover this artist, and like I said, a multidisciplinary artist and a very talented one at that. So like I said, really hope y'all enjoyed today. And if y'all did, go check out the original artist. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.